Well, and welcome to the second session on day 5 of the National Track Championships here in Cambridge. It is the Elite and Under 19 Teams Pursuit Final. We only have 4 teams, so 1 team on the track at a time, and one of those teams is a composite team. So we have a team from Auckland, a composite team, Canterbury and Waikato. So only 3 centres able to field teams in this under 19 and elite combined teams pursuit. So the first team up will be the Auckland team of Emma Blackmore, Tegan Feringa, Bella Judd and B Townsend. Bella coming up onto the track apron. So teams getting themselves set one at a time on the track in this teams pursuit qualifying. Only 4 teams. Thanks very much for joining us on Sky Sport Next. So Auckland getting themselves all set for their 4,000 metre teams pursuit. So they would have been doing a little bit of work out there in Manukau. And they saw a great performance from their under 19 men's team, who were looking pretty good going into the final. They'll be chasing that New Zealand record this evening. So Auckland, all with their double disc wheels in. 3 riders must finish in the team's pursuit. The time's taken on the 3rd rider across the line, and the line is not the finish line, the black and white one, it's the red line halfway down the respective straights. And in this case, they're all starting in the home straight. So Auckland nice and tidy so far, heading in towards the first 1,000 metres of the 4. A 1:17 opening kilometre. Travelling fairly comfortably, I'd say, for all these riders. The 1:17 wouldn't be too stressful. Tegan just on the front. It's in a big turn for the team. Moves up, will swing onto the back. Didn't get that quite right, so has to keep chasing to get onto the back wheel. Eight laps to go. So through the 2,000, 2:30. wanting to build the pace on this ride, 2:30 through the halfway. But of course they know they've got to have 3 finish. Bella Judd moves up, looking quite comfortable. Townsend tucked in second wheel. Emma Blackmore. So again, a little high on the track. Tegan just having to fight once again to get onto that back wheel. As we see Bede, she's had a very good championships. Coached by Elise Fraser. Up a medal in the individual pursuit in the under-19 competition. 3 to go, and 3 riders left with 3 to go, so very costly. Tegan not being able to get back on with that change. There's Logan letting them know they've got 3. So you got to change the angle on the banking, how high you go to get back on. That was nicely done. B. Townsend saw there was 3. 2 to go. So 9:48 kilometres an hour. Oh, Emma Blackmore didn't get that quite right in the change, and now has to fight hard because the time's taken on that third rider. 1 to go. Bella Judd, Emma Blackmore fighting to hold that third wheel. The time will be taken when Emma crosses the line. So that'll be confirmed. It's a 5-minute ride, so went through the second half at the same, pretty much the same speed as the first 2,000 metres. There we go, just being confirmed, 5:00.633. So the Auckland Composite team, their ride is done in this final, 5:06.33. The Composite 2 team coming up is Emily Sherman, Rudy Barth, Molly Hayes, and Anna Lissette. So once again, these ladies riding together for the first time, and watching them just in warm-up, 1 or 2 struggling a little bit at the mid-18 pace. Emily Sherman, Molly Hayes will be the strength in this team, but it's how they can look after and manage the other 2 riders. 4,000 metres. But in a great position to at least fight for a medal. And I'll set at the top. Inside her, Ruby Barth, Kalisa Southland, Molly Hayes, Emily Sherman. So we're underway. Emily Sherman down on the inside will just have a nice controlled start. Certainly not wanting to go out too hard, just wants to get everyone settled in. 4,000 metres, plenty of time. You don't want to get down to 3, or as in their warm-up 2 riders. So Emily Sherman, Molly Hayes, Ruby Barth, and Lissette is this combination. riding together for the first time. So Emily doing a nice job just settling them in, not going out hard at all. A 41, 500. They can all do that on their air, these girls, so they'll just keep building. So a big start for Emily Sherman.
7-4.
We'll see what they go through the 1,000 and 117 was the Auckland time through the first 1,000. Emily Sherman takes them through in 116.4. Swings up, Molly Hayes will take over and do a few good laps on the front, I'm sure. Again, just controlling the pace and the tempo. You remember the time is taken on the third rider, so you've got to keep it nice and even.
7-6.
The team's only as good as your third best. So Molly Hayes taking them down the backs, had a pretty good championship. So Bath from Southland. Short turn. Nice change though, knew what she had to do to get on the back wheel. Lisette does the same, so again, Emily Sherman onto the front. So 1.7 in front of the Auckland team at this stage. So Emily Sherman and Molly Hayes doing a good job, just keeping this nice and steady. 8 to go, so that's really got to look after the other two riders in this.
8-1, extra.
So Emily Sherman down the back, West Coast, North Island. Molly Hayes, Waikato Bar, plenty. Wheel 1 and 2, they're the big engines in the team. They've just got to do the bulk of the work, look after the other two.
7-6, steady.
Travelling at 48.7 kilometres an hour, average speed, so a little bit over that at the moment. And that was from the standing start. And it's a shame there's not more teams lining up in this under-19 elite women's team's pursuit, just the 4 teams. Waikato having a mixed team. Shauna stepping up into the senior team. I would have thought they would have had enough with this facility in the Waikato to have more riders lining up wanting to be in the team's pursuit. Molly Hayes pulls up and drops in onto the wheel of Emily Sherman. 4 to go. So it'll be a short turn from the Southland rider. She'll swing up. And goes, job's done, so they're down to 3. So the next change is all important for Anna Lisette. She's got to not go too high, make sure she gets on the back wheel. And didn't quite time it, so now she's chasing, so Emily Sherman's going to have to button off a little bit. So not having just the technical skill there to adjust the line for 3 riders. So Anna Lisette, when Emily Sherman's got to sit right up.
Little more east.
So Emily Sherman, Molly Hayes, Anna Lisette. So the time's taken on the third, so remember they're trying to beat that of Auckland. So 1 to go. So Emily and Molly up front, just can't do anything really. They could have probably slowed down and picked up that third rider. So 4:58, I think that was, a 4:58.7. 4:58.796. So they scraped in just under the time of Auckland. And certainly Emily Sherman, Molly Hayes, they would have liked to probably had a couple of other riders of similar ability to see what sort of time they could have posted to stretch them out. But they've got the time on the board, 4:58. So our next team is Canterbury, and they will be a well-drilled outfit. Madison Lowry, Amelia Sykes, Samantha Walker, Samantha Donnelly. So Canterbury, they will know they've got to post a really good time. The Waikato team with Bronnie Bortha. Bronnie will probably ride, or she can ride a lot faster than the previous two teams by herself. So Canterbury, team effort, they've got to go as fast as they can and keep it together. 10 seconds, they will be underway. So Madison Lowry at the top of the track will settle in on wheel number 4. So some really well performed riders in this team. They come past, lap 1's completed. Samantha Walker settled the start in, moves to the back. Elise Fraser will be calling the lap times for this Canterbury team. Amelia Sykes, been one of the stars in the under-19 individual events throughout these championships. Fairly big turn on the front. They'll swing up, drop down onto the back wheel. And that's Sammy Donnelly taken over. Samantha Donnelly. So she'll do plenty on the front for this team. They know they've got to keep building, 10 to go. Samantha Donnelly. Madison Lowry ready to take over second wheel when Donnelly decides that I've done my piece for the team in this early stages of the race. Eight to go. So Canterbury, plan down to 3. Madison Lowry has done her bit. So the third rider adjusted, got onto the back wheel pretty quickly, reasonably smoothly, but struggling just slightly. Now she settles in, relaxes. Amelia Sykes. They'll be wanting to build it in the closing stages. 6 to go. Still a lot of work to be done out there for this Canterbury team. Oh, too high on the bank and got the big run off. Now they'll be back pedaling a bit as he approaches the back. So it's so tricky when you're used to 4 and you drop to 3. Moving the bike around with the double discs. So 3 laps to go, 750 metres left for Canterbury. Samantha Donnelly powering the Canterbury team along. 2 to go. But Donnelly's trying to bring this team home to a really good time. They'll come around to get the bell. Bell lap still Donnelly. He's going to bring it all the way home. Samantha Donnelly down the back, stretching Canterbury out, trying to lead them home to a good fast time. Go across the line nice and even. 4-4-3. So 4:43 for Canterbury. The final team coming up onto the track in this elite and under 19 women's teams pursuit 4,000 metre final. 4:43, 7:12, the time to beat. There's Bronny going into the starting gate, the national record holder in the 3,000 metre individual pursuit. 3rd fastest individual pursuit in history for Bronny Bortha. Shauna Gray. Prudence Fowler, Nicole Murray. So Nicole, a big part of the New Zealand Para Cycling team. Riding in this team's pursuit for Waikato. So Bronny Bortha gets them underway. So she's used to lapping at super quick times in those individual pursuits. It's a bit different in the team's pursuit. Team's pursuit, Bronny's again with the national team. One of the powerhouses in that team will ride at a different tempo today. Shauna Gray tucks in onto the wheel. So if the team wanted to, they could absolutely keep Bronny at the front for the whole 4,000 metres, as long as they finish with 3. So she swings up. Shauna Gray takes over. Prudence Fowler sits in behind Shauna Gray. And then Nicole Murray. Nice turn from Shauna. Shauna takes over, sits on the back after a nice turn on the front. Prudence Fowler. Prudence Fowler looking comfortable. Gets the call from Ray Sheath. Nicole Murray takes over on the front for this Waikato Bay of Plenty team. 10 to go. And Nicole Murray swings up. Only Border takes over. Well, let's see how long she's going to sit on the front for. Shauna Gray's sitting on the wheel. Be a great experience for Shauna riding with Bonnie Bortha in this team's pursuit. It's Ray calling the times. Down the back, they're just starting to build the speed up. 7 seconds fastest on the track. 7 to go. Ronnie moves up easily onto the back wheel. Shauna Gray takes over. Travelling at 52, just over 52 kilometres an hour. Shauna swings up, Prudence Fowler. That's Prudence Fowler leading the Waikato Bar Plenty team. Staying on the front, down the back straight, Prudence Fowler, Nicole Murray, Bonnie Bortha, Shauna Gray. Nicole Murray looking very smooth, very comfortable in this team. One of the superstars of our Paralympic program. Great to have the opportunity for Nicole to ride a team's pursuit. Of course, we don't have that in the para program. So this is a great opportunity for her to show her skills. So they're going to come around with 1 to go. The national record holder over 3,000 metres. Ronnie Bortha on the front of this Waikato team. They've looked nice and tidy. Shauna Gray, Prudence Fowler, Nicole Murray, half a lap to go. So they cruise around, cross the line, all intact with a 4:31.5. So well done to Ronnie Bortha, Prudence Fowler, Nicole Murray, Shauna Gray, Waikato Bar Plenty taking out the women's team's pursuit final here at the National Track Championships with a 4:31.5. Canterbury 4:43 and the Composite team in third place of Anna Lisette, Molly Hayes, Ruby Bath, Emily Sherman. So we change in speed. It's still teams events, but it's team sprint. Under 19, team sprint final. 19 women's team sprint qualifying, sorry. Is the qualifying? It is a final. Malcolm's just corrected me. It is a straight final. And of course with 1, 2, 3, 4 teams, absolutely. So Auckland, Tegan Fuinga, Bella Judd, B. Townsend is their lineup. We just see behind the Auckland team, Ray Sheath congratulating his Waikato Chargers. And coming up, Bella Judd in 92. She'll be in second position. behind Tegan, and I think B is going to ride 3. So there's B coming up into that 3rd position. Her dad Logan does so much work for Auckland Cycling. Been involved through the schools for a number of years and with the Auckland Track program. Must be stoked to see how well B has ridden at these championships. So straight final, Auckland, they will want to post a very fast time. Composite team on the other side, Pilbane Harris, Kira Kelly, Charlotte Earl. Charlotte Earl will be the starter in the Waikato colours. So the Composite team, Charlotte Earl, and we flip back to Auckland. Tegan for Inga. Not quite as clean out as the gates as she would have liked for the Auckland, but they'll get underway. They'll settle in. It's 1 lap full gas for the starter. It's always interesting to see the opening lap time. There's Charlotte Earl getting her Composite team underway. So Auckland come round with the advantage. 22.6. So Bella Judd got to time the crossover. B Townsend, 3rd wheel, winding the gear out down the back. High cadence going. Last lap for these riders. B is coming around to finish it off for Auckland. So we'll wait for the time to come up officially. Auckland 55.171 and the Composite team reduced to 56.159. So 55.171, there we go, they've set the mark. Under 19. Team sprints. So if you're just wondering while we're waiting for the next team to come up, it's just to give them a little bit of a breather. Some of the riders have come straight off the Team's Pursuit. So Shauna Gray's just come off that Team's Pursuit ride with Auckland, and she is the 3rd wheel rider in the Waikato Bar Plenty team. And likewise for Canterbury, where we have Madison Lowry, Amelia Sykes, Samantha Walker. So just giving them a chance to have at least a couple more minutes recovery. And that's with the program, the way we've had to run it under these level 3 conditions by session. The riders have ridden back to back, probably slightly more than they would normally. They'd have a morning and then go home and come back for an evening session. It's often back-to-back events in the same session, in a very short compact session, some of them, particularly this one. There they go, they're happy. They don't look like they need a rest, do they? Rearing to go. So they've certainly had a lot of fun here at these Track National Championships. It's been fantastic having the under 15, under 17s as a part of it, and really looking forward to next year. We'll be back down in Southland. And hopefully we'll have everyone racing over the two sessions. And big crowds in Southland cheering the riders on. There's Canterbury. A couple of the Canterbury riders also nice and relaxed. Getting ready to come up onto the track. A tight turnaround. This is the under 19 women's team sprint final. And following this, we'll go on to the elite women's 750 team sprint final. So Amelia Sykes, there she goes, joining us, joins the teammates, recovered now. Doesn't even look like she's been out riding, does she? So fresh, ready to go. Final ride of these championships. So once everyone's happy that they've had enough recovery, they'll be back on the track. Thanks very much for joining us on Sky Sport Next throughout these 5 days of the Track National Championships from Cambridge. It's been great to have your company. Thanks so much for your messages and comments. Really appreciate your support, and you taking the time to watch this event, and look forward to seeing you here in person. We're down in Southland next year, and of course the Masters will be up here. So nice wide shot of the velodrome here in Cambridge. I was looking down where the starting gate is. There we go. Waikato. There's Elise Andrews looking nice and relaxed. Olympic Games silver medalist. Well, if you're sitting at home and you've been running 400-metre hurdles or any sort of athletics event, you can always do what Cameron French has done and change over, because we're short of team sprinters, almost team sprinters. So Cameron, he'll be out on the track in the next session. There's the Southern Spars wheels, one of the important performance partners with Cycling New Zealand, the Avanti bike that's powered us to World Championship, Olympic medals. And so unfortunate that they're no longer in production. John Struthers led Avanti for over 25 years. Struthers family, New Zealand-owned business, was bought by Scott Sports. And of course, the velodrome here was supported and sponsored by Avanti. And we'll be forever grateful to John Struthers for the amount of money he's put in, along with Simon Perry. If it wasn't for those two men, I'm not sure if we would have this facility. Very aerodynamic bike. Bikes purchased by a number of other countries around the world. So when you watch a UCI World Track Series, you'll see Avanti bikes being ridden. And we hope one day Scott might bring out the mould and make a few more, because they're still as good as anything in the world. So the Southern Spar wheels you saw are equipped with Vitoria tyres. Of course, Vitoria, not only partner of the New Zealand cycling team, but almost every other national federation and pro cycling team. So riders are starting to make their way up onto the track for this second heat, or second heat in the final, 750 team sprint. Under 19, Waikato Bar Plenty. The team is Jess Schuler, Gemma Cowdrey, Shauna Gray. In Canterbury, Vanessa Larry, Amelia Sykes, Samantha Walker. Canterbury, Waikato. Shauna coming up into the third position. Just enjoyed the team's pursuit experience, picking up the national title. So they're at the countdown. We're coming up to 15 seconds on the clock. So Gemma getting Waikato underway. There's Canterbury, first half lap. Waikato with the advantage by quite a bit, 1.4 seconds. So Canterbury have got plenty of work to do. Changeovers have got to be clean, nice. That was a good change for Waikato. So Jess Schuler absolutely flying down the back, just keeps improving. Canterbury, Waikato, go across. Nice change, Waikato in control. Shauna Gray. Well, you won't catch Shauna Gray from there. Waikato in control of this. Come around to the finish line. Waikato Bar Plenty, Shauna Gray. And they go across in a 52. 52.553. So there we go, just confirming the under-19 team sprint final. Waikato with the 52.553, Canterbury 54.739, Auckland 55.171. So the 52.553 is a wee bit outside the New Zealand record of 52.326. Reasonably close, but the 52.326, the New Zealand Championship record, held by Sophie De Veers, Lily Kaywood, Prudence Fowler, will still stand. That was set in Invercargill in 2021. So the elite women's team sprint final. We have just two teams. Waikato, Bay of Plenty with Elise Andrews, Olivia King, Rebecca Peach. The composite team is made up of Prudence Fowler, Erin Downey, Samantha Donnelly, and Rebecca Peach. If you think, well, I've heard that name before, you have. She is BMX Olympian, BMX national champion, just won that title or defended that title in Hamilton last week at the BMX National Championships. Multiple world championship titles in BMX, and BMX riders, I think a few more of them need to come down to the track. Could have fielded a BMX team in this, they would have got a medal. The BMX, of course, snap out of the blocks, 30-second races. We've had a number of BMXs over the years on both road and track, and of course two of the most famous that we would know would be Julian Dean, who went on to ride the Tour de France and was one of the top road sprinters in the world. Robin McEwen, multiple green jersey winner in the Tour de France, the Australian, all come from BMX. So the riders making their way up onto the track for the elite women's 750 team sprint final. Waikato Bay of Plenty will start in the front straight. And that team, Rebecca Peach, Olivia King, Elise Andrews. They're getting onto the bike, Rebecca Peach. And then on the other side, the Canterbury team. So with two Canterbury riders, Prudence Fowler's at the top in the colours of Waikato. Then we'll have Samantha Donnelly will be in second. Erin Downey, I think, is leading off. So Rebecca Peach hasn't got the jumps in front of her this weekend. Just a big corner to go around at maximum speed. Against the composite team in this final. So a really good hit out for Rebecca Peach. Elise Andrews riding three, the Olympic Games silver medalist. Rebecca Peach out of the blocks nicely. Rebecca Peach, look at her go. She is an absolute rocket out of the blocks down the back. Wheel two, having to work really hard to get on. It's Olivia King. So Olivia King's got plenty to run at. It's in the slipstream. Rebecca Peach, well, she stopped the first lap. Look at that, 19.0. Nice first lap from Rebecca Peach. So Olivia King takes over down the back. They've got the advantage over the composite team. In fact, they're almost catching them. They're in the same straight. Then Elise Andrews takes over. So Elise Andrews powering around the back straight. Elise Andrews, what can she bring this team home in? The Waikato Bay of Plenty team. There we go. Elise Andrews crossed the line. Prudence Fowler brings her team home. Well, Waikato Bay of Plenty, Rebecca Peach, Olivia King, Elise Andrews, 48. 4-5-1. So there we go, just confirming Waikato Bar Plenty 48.451 in a new national record time. So very good performance from that team. What a start by Rebecca Peach. So the championship record previously was 50.278. The New Zealand record was 48.475. Olivia King was a part of that as well. And that was set 2021, a national records night here in Cambridge, along with Sian Fulton and the late Olivia Podmore. So very good to finish this session with a national record 48.451 for the Waikato Bar Plenty team sprint combination of Rebecca Peach, Olivia King, Elise Andrews. Nice to see that. Thumbs up from Olivia. Elise Andrews, national record. She's happy. Nice sign for her form going into the Oceania Championships. Rebecca Peach on the start line comes home with a national record and a national title. 2 weeks in a row, 2 different sports, both on bikes, and 2 gold medals. So that's all the action on the track in this session. We'll have the awards presentation for the events that have just been completed, the National Championship events that have just been completed. And we'll be back at 2 p.m. with some more action here. We'll have another look, I think, at that ride, particularly the start of Rebecca Peach, a 19.0 first lap, 0.5 off what the men were doing, well, what our national team did at a big competition last year. 18.5, 18.4, so you see a very good start from Rebecca Peach. Snapped out of the blocks. And she'll only get quicker. So we're just going to bring up the replay. There we go, Rebecca Peach snapping out. So she's got a little bit of work to do, can tidy it up, but wow, fast. And Olivia King having to work quite hard as we watch the replay on Sky Sport Next. There's Rebecca Peach. Olivia King now just gets into the slipstream, pulls up, changes over. It's a very good change. And Olivia King, Elise Andrews tucked in there on third wheel as they chase this national title. And Elise Andrews, perfect timing in the changeover. We see the power, the strength, the speed of the Olympic Games silver medalist, the anchor in this team. And there's Elise Andrews, not quite, there she is coming past us now. So that was a top performance national record ride, 48.451. So we're now just getting set for the medal presentations. So as I said before, we'll be back at 2 p.m. with the Elite and Under 19 men's teams pursuit final, Under 19 team sprint final, and the Elite men team sprint final. That's going to be great because we're going to see Cameron French, Sam Dakin, And I believe Bradley Knight may be lining up in that. So hopefully they'll be chasing a national record as well. It's been a championship of records, particularly today. So they're just getting set in the infield for the presentation. Once they're all set down there, we will throw to our podium announcer, Jeanette Douglas.
I think so, yep. Okay, and I'm on 2, if that makes a difference.
So all the riders are set. I think we're just about ready to go. Camera crew set up. So we will be heading down to the awards presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the awards ceremony for the 2022 Track National Championship Elite and Under 19 pursuits will now take place. We'll first like to recognise our highest place Under 19 team, and they will be awarded the Lynn Murphy Trophy, and we'll invite Erin Criglington to present it. So please welcome, representing Auckland, Emma Blackmore, Tegan Ferrigan, Belle Judd and B Townsend. So these are all under 19 riders, and they had the fastest time out of the under 19 team. So they will be receiving the Lynn Murphy Trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in congratulating our under 19 fastest team. And in third place, in the winner of the bronze medal in the Elite and Under 19 team pursuit, representing Composite teams, please welcome Emily Sherman, Ruby Bath, Molly Hayes, and Anna Lashett. We'd like to welcome Erin Criglington, President of Cycling New Zealand Road and Track, to present the medals. So in third place, the Composite team made up of Emily Sherman, Ruby Bath, Molly Hayes and Anna Lashett. And in second place, representing Canterbury, and the winners of the silver medal, Maddie Lowry, Amelia Sykes, Sammy Walker and Sammy Donnelly. And in first place, and the winners of the gold medal, and winners of national champion jerseys, your 2022 Elite and Under 19 Team Pursuit National Champions, representing Waikato Bay of Plenty, Bryony Botha, Prue Fowler, Nicole Murray and Shauna Gray. The team will also receive a native plant from our proud sponsors, Amber Garden Centre. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us and show your appreciation for the place getters in our Elite and Under-19 Team Pursuit Championships. Teams front next.
You want the big one? Can we take it?
Ladies and gentlemen, the award ceremony for the 2022 Track National Championship Under-19 Team Sprint will now take place.
Okay, under 19 teams ready.
I'd like to welcome again Erin Cricklington from Cycling New Zealand Road and Track to present the medals. In third place, and the winner of the bronze medal, representing Auckland, Tegan Farragon, Belle Judd and B Townsend. In second place, and the winners of the silver medal, representing Canterbury, Maddie Lowry, Amelia Sykes and Sammy Walker. And in first place, and the winners of the gold medal, the recipients of national championship jerseys, your 2022 Under-19 Team Sprint national champions, representing Waikato Bay of Plenty, Gemma Cordery, Jess Schuler and Shauna Gray. And our championship team also receives native plants from our sponsors, Amber Garden Centre. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us and show your appreciation for our podium place getters in the Under-19 Team Sprint. The medal presentation for the 2022 Track National Elite Team Sprints will now take place. The medals will be once again presented by Erin Cricklington, Cycling New Zealand Road and Track President. In second place, and the winners of the silver medal, Composite team, please welcome Sammy Donnelly, Erin Downey and Prue Fowler. And in first place, and the winners of the gold medal, and your new National Elite Team Sprint champions, and a new national record representing Waikato Bay of Plenty, Elise Andrews, Olivia King, and Rebecca Petch. The team will also receive native plants from our sponsors, Amber Garden Centre. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in congratulating our elite team sprint national champions and our new record holders, Waikato Bay Plenty.
I'll answer the first question. I'll pass it on to you. There'll be one question. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Can we swap order? Can we swap the two outside people around just for me?
Oh, this
Yeah.
for the height?
Yeah.
Chuck the little one over there.
Right, we are catching up with the elite team sprint national champions representing Waikato Bay Plenty. Rebecca Petch, first team sprint event.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty cool to line up next to the girls. So yeah.
Coming from an individual sport like BMX and obviously your individual performances this week, what was it like sort of going up onto the boards as a team?
Yeah, it was really exciting. I guess just to like share the nerves with someone else, and yeah, it was really cool.
Olivia King, another national jersey for you. It's been a good week for you. You should be growing in confidence from that.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked with the week, and to be able to finish it on a high with these guys is pretty cool. So yeah.
Annalise Andrews, all three of you individually have won individual national titles. You've come together as a team, and you've also got that national record. 3-up women's team sprint. This is really good for the future.
Yeah, I think like Beck said, it's so special to be able to share the performance and the nerves and the whole moment with the girls, and so I think it'll be really cool to actually grow with them through this process and put down some even faster times in the future.
Awesome, congratulations to all of you and good luck at Oshis.
Well, what a great way to finish the session with hearing from the national record holders in the team sprint. That wraps up this afternoon's session. We will be back in 55 minutes' time when racing starts at 2 p.m. with the elite men's and under 19 teams pursuit final, under 19 and elite men sprint finals as well, team sprint finals. I look forward to being with you again at 2 p.m.